Okay, so for a response essay, essentially all I want you to be able to do is to be able to read a article or some kind of reading material and to be able to understand it well enough to summarize it briefly in an objective way, have an opinion on it, and then prove that opinion. Okay, so essentially, basically, you're going to start off just like every essay. We're going to have an introduction. And I always draw an upside down triangle to just say, we're going to start this in a broad way, and we're going to get a little bit more specific. We will have a thesis statement, okay? And your thesis statement is going to be essentially the opinion that you have on the article or on the subject matter that's discussed. Now you got to remember, on a thesis statement, we're always going to use the third person. So you're not going to use first person like I think or I believe or in my opinion. We won't do that. In a thesis statement, it always has to be third person. So you're going to say the author made a very good point. However, the issue that the author brought up was not presented in a clear way, or you can comment on the rightness or the wrongness. You can say the author is completely wrong in his opinion about topic X, Y, and Z. Take a look at the example essay or essays that I upload for you to look at. Essentially, you just need to be able to give your opinion on what the author says in the article. Not necessarily your opinion on the issue as a whole. And I don't want you to be writing a book report. So I don't want the entire essay just to tell me about what the author said. So you need to be able to have an opinion. So you're going to have an opinion in your thesis statement, and then your first body paragraph, you're going to just summarize what you read. Okay, so this is objective. This is just in case whoever is reading your article or your essay, just in case that person has never read the article before. Or maybe the person has read the article and you need to say, listen, this is what the article is about, just to kind of prove that you've read the article and you understand it. This part is not going to be your opinion. It is not going to be opinionated at all. This is simply to just inform the reader. This is essentially what the article said. This is what the author said. At the end, you're going to give the page range. At the beginning, you're going to make sure it's clear that you're talking about whatever article. So you're going to give the title of the article and you're going to give the author's name. So those things have to be there. They have to be present in the summary. So the summary is going to begin. Perhaps you would have a statement saying in his article, the best thing ever, and that would be in quotes because we're using MLA format. John Smith discusses the automotive industry. And then you would just go in detail. This is essentially what John Smith said about the automotive industry. It's not, hey, he said a good thing or a bad thing. It says, this is just pretty much what he said. And at the end, you'd give me the page range. So your reader could say, okay, if you would like to find out more, okay, these are the pages that it appeared in whatever magazine or newspaper or a book or whatever. So that's why we do that. After we summarize the rest of the essay, so you're going to have probably, 3 paragraphs, 2 or 3 paragraphs, it will be to respond to things that the author said in the essay. So you're going to be responding to these things. Up here in the summary, you said this is essentially the things that the author said, and down here you're going to respond. So maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, it doesn't matter. But what matters is, if you agree, okay, tell me exactly why you agree. Give some reasoning, have some logic behind why you agree. Why do you think other people should agree with this? Why is it true? Why, in your opinion? If you disagree, same thing. Give me some logic as to why it's wrong or why you disagree. It should not just be, hey, it's the way I was raised, or just in my opinion. Hey, it's just my opinion. Don't do that. You need to give me some real reasons, illustrations, examples. Really discuss in depth why you agree or why you disagree with these points, or why it made you angry, or why you think it really encouraged you. Those are the types of things that I want you to do. It's a little bit of self-reflection, is going to be helpful with this. Okay, how did this make me feel? But again, we're not trying to get into a big, like a diary entry about this is how I feel. We're just trying to say, okay, these are the reactions that I had, and I'm going to explain my reactions. Simple? Yes, it is, but it does require some thought. And then at the very end, you're going to have a conclusion paragraph. And all you're going to do in the conclusion is you're simply going to restate some of the things you've said in the essay itself. You're going to wrap it up. So in the introduction, you start in a broad place. And by broad place, I mean you try to start in a place where your reader is already thinking, maybe, okay, the automotive industry as a whole, things that are going on in the news. Just depends on the topic that I'm asking you to write about. Take a look at how when I give you an example on this, so make sure to look at the example essay, because whatever example I've given you, it's a pretty good example of what I'm looking for, okay? You're going to have a thesis statement, your essential argument. You're going to have a summary, just an objective overview of what you read, and then you're going to give your responses to specific things that were said in that reading, with a conclusion at the end that wraps it up. If you have questions, feel free to email me, but that essentially is all you need to do.